No, I want you right here. That makes sense real well on this side.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. Patrick, you good? Jen, you coming tight?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
I think we go ahead and I'm Mike Reck, and I'm here today with the brave survivor and advocates in our Los Angeles office to announce the filing of a lawsuit against the Archdiocese of Los Angeles for child sex abuse perpetrated by Father Stephen Michael Baker. This lawsuit is one of vital public necessity and public need, which seeks to remedy a dangerous condition that has been present and is present in the Archdiocese of Los Angeles. This lawsuit will uncover and expose the extent of the conspiracy and the cover-up in this Archdiocese that reaches to the highest levels of the Archdiocese, even to directly Cardinal Roger Mahoney. This case involves Father Stephen Michael Baker. Father Baker was ordained in 1974 in Los Angeles. During his career, he moved throughout and within the Archdiocese of Los Angeles, and also in Indiana and in New Mexico. Father Baker was laicized in 2000 and criminally convicted, serving a prison sentence which has now been completed, and to the best of our knowledge, Father Baker is now living in the Pasadena area. This particular case involves a very brave survivor who is with us here today. He's here today to stand with us and talk about his lawsuit and his recovery of power. In this lawsuit, abuse was perpetrated by Father Baker at St. Elizabeth's Parish in Van Nuys, California. This is abuse that no child should have to endure, and this was abuse that could have and should have been prevented. Archdiocesan officials knew of Father Baker's history and knew of the danger that he presented to children before sending him to St. Elizabeth's in Van Nuys. Church records have revealed that the Archdiocese spoke with Father Baker, and Father Baker disclosed to them his dangerous propensities. These conversations are memorialized, and they include the highest officials in the Archdiocese. In 1987, Monsignor Thomas Curry, a high-ranking diocesan official, wrote about Father Baker to Cardinal Mahoney himself. Monsignor Curry and Cardinal Mahoney thwarted law enforcement. They thwarted and prevented the reporting of Father Baker's crimes. And then they consciously and intentionally placed Father Baker at St. Elizabeth's in 1987 in Van Nuys, just before he abused the plaintiff in this case. The plaintiff in this case stands with us today. He's here today as a brave survivor to talk about his case. The courts offer protection to survivors of childhood sexual abuse. The courts allow survivors to remain confidential. The lawsuit that was filed identifies the plaintiff as a John Doe. However, Alberto Sanchez stands with us today to disclose that he is John Doe 1001. He chooses to let those who are still suffering in silence know that they are not alone, that He is here and He is doing this. Alberto, thank you for doing this. I would like for you to please tell us and tell the public and tell the survivors why you have chosen to forego the protections that the courts have given you and use your name on that lawsuit and stand with us here today. Why did you do this?
Thank you for having me. My name is Alberto Sanchez, and I chose to be here today, even though I didn't have to be here, but I chose to be here so I could come forward and use my name and they could see my face. I was taught as a child to trust adults in positions of authority, especially Catholic priests. Father Mike violated my trust as a child, took my innocence when he sexually violated me. Cardinal Roger Mahoney was complicit because he knew that Father Mike was a sexual predator long before I was assaulted by Father Mike. Father Mike took advantage of my trust, along with the trust of so many others, and I am here today to reclaim my dignity, to show my face to them so they know I am not afraid of them. That as an adult, I now understand that what they have done to me and others as children was wrong. My hope is that others seeing this will find the courage to come forward and speak up in an attempt to reclaim the lost trust and dignity.
Alberto, thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
To those survivors who may still be suffering in silence, you are not alone. You did nothing wrong. This was not your fault. By filing a lawsuit like this one, there is accountability that protects children and forces change. By filing a lawsuit like this, there's recovery of power, and there's healing, and others available to help you, to support you. Thank you, Alberto. Thank you. With us also today is Joelle Castix. Joelle, come up to the microphone, please. Joelle is a survivor, an advocate, and an expert on healing and prevention of child sex abuse. Joelle, why are these cases important? What does the public need to know about this?
These cases are vitally important because every time a survivor comes forward and speaks out about abuse, another child is made safer. Michael Baker is out there today with full access to children. Although he has spent time in jail, no one can be sure that he isn't grooming another child right now. And because Alberto has bravely come forward, we can now put Michael Baker in the spotlight and make sure that people who are around Michael Baker know that he is a serial predator and has hurt many, many children. And something else that Alberto's brave story tells us is that he should never have been abused. I am friends with other Michael Baker victims, and these men are more than a decade older than Alberto. And these are men that Cardinal Mahoney knew were being abused by Michael Baker. And had Cardinal Mahoney done the right thing then, had he done the right thing a decade, 15 years earlier, Alberto never would have been put in the path of a predator. But because he's bravely coming forward and doing the right thing, he's not only keeping children safe right now and exposing a predator who's on the streets right now, but he's stopping the cover-up of abuse that may still be continuing in the Archdiocese of Los Angeles. And I encourage anyone with any information about sex abuse and cover-up to come forward, because it is safe to talk about abuse, and it is safe to report what you know, because every time a survivor speaks about abuse and talks about what happened to them, another child is made safer and the cycle will be stopped. Thank you.
Thank you, Joelle. With us also today is Patrick Wall. Patrick Wall, come on up. Patrick is a former Catholic priest, an expert on clerical sexual abuse. I've heard you referred to as a priest hunter. I want to show you a map that shows the assignments of Father Baker. It shows him in California, it shows him in New Mexico, it shows him in Indiana. What does this geographic movement, and what does all of these short assignments mean? What do you as an expert need us to know about the Archdiocese movement of Father Baker?
All of these movements are red flags. These are dangerous red flags. The code clearly calls for stability. This priest demonstrated absolutely no stability, moving as far as one possibly could, as far north in the Archdiocese to as far south as the Archdiocese, to being sent to treatment at the world-famous Paraclete Center in Jimenez Springs, New Mexico, to being sent to Notre Dame. These are all locations that red flag anyone that knows anything about child sexual abuse. So when you see all of those movements, you automatically know something is amiss. Now that we have some of the documents, I claim that we do not have all the documents, we can see clearly the communications were going back and forth in English, that everyone at every stage of command knew about Father Michael Baker. They knew at the pastor level, Monsignor Timothy Dyer, who was also the vicar for clergy. They knew at an associate bishop level, Monsignor Curry, who eventually was promoted to be bishop after handling the Baker cases. We knew that the highest person in the Archdiocese, Cardinal Roger Mahoney. What's important today, not a single one of these guys has ever been disciplined. No one has ever been removed from office. No one has faced any kind of repercussions for allowing Michael Stephen Baker to go on a rampage in 14 different parishes in multiple countries as well. He traveled around the world freely. What is the scariest part is this pattern and practice has continued, and there has been no fundamental change in the history of the Archdiocese, even up to the present moment. That's why there's a danger to the public. That's why this important story is so important. And essentially what Alberto is doing is he's saying we need to wake up and see that the management techniques, this has nothing to do with God, the management techniques are what is the serious piece of it. And it's not magical. This is not rocket science. It's simply taking care and putting children first. If you see something, you say something. But that's not what the Archdiocese does.
Thank you, Patrick. In sum, this lawsuit filed in the Los Angeles Superior Court says on behalf of John Doe 1001, now revealed to be Alberto Sanchez, that it's time for healing. It's time for accountability, and it's time to make the Archdiocese of Los Angeles safer. With us also today is Griselda Solis. She is an advocate, Spanish speaker from our office, who will summarize for the community what is important to know about this lawsuit that was filed today. Griselda, can you step up? Griselda will also be reading in Spanish the statement that was said by Alberto Sanchez.
Dice Alberto Sánchez, ¿por qué estoy revelando mi identidad ahora? De niño me enseñaron a confiar en adultos en posición de autoridad, especialmente en el sacerdote católico. El padre Mike violó mi confianza cuando era niño. Tomó mi inocencia cuando me violó sexualmente. El cardenal Roger Mahoney era cómplice porque sabía de que el padre Mike era un depredador sexual, mucho antes que él ingresara como padre en la iglesia. El padre Mike se aprovechó de mi confianza, junto con la confianza de tantos otros, y estoy aquí ahora para reclamar mi dignidad, para demostrar mi rostro, para que sepan que no les tengo miedo. Y como adulto, ahora entiendo lo que me han hecho a mí y a otros niños como yo el amar. Mi esperanza es de que otros viendo esto y mi historia tengan el valor para presentar y alzar la voz y entiendan que no están solos, que recuperen su confianza y su valor para demostrar que no están solos.
Griselda, what does the community need to know about this lawsuit?
La comunidad tiene que saber que nuestra oficina ha demandado a la Archdiocese de Los Ángeles junto con el padre Mike Baker, y la razón por eso es de que queremos que sepan que el padre Mike Baker todavía está en nuestra comunidad. Él en este momento reside en la ciudad de Pasadena. Aunque el padre Baker ha cumplido tiempo en la cárcel, él ahorita está fuera con sesión de muchos niños o adultos en su presencia.
Thank you, Griselda. To Alberto Sanchez, John Doe 1001, and the other survivors who seek their healing and the accountability, we say thank you. Alberto, thank you for doing this and making children safer. Thank you all.
Thank you. I believe you it's 101.
Sure.
Okay, so, you speak that? I don't speak okay, well, I'll take English anyways. Okay. Tell me what happened here, what you guys asking for, and I'll talk to her. Okay.
What do you want to do? Ready?
Oh, you stand ready? That would be doing that, the whole package, so.
Mike, is that over? You should take that wall. To your left.
I think this is in the shop. No. Okay.